All right, so let's come to a nice, comfortable seat, and let's go ahead and sit forward in the chair a little bit. So we're having a nice, tall spine right away, starting out. Just peek down at your feet. Make sure that your knees are landing over your ankles, so feet are about hips distance apart. You root down into your sit bones, and then let's roll the shoulders out a few times before we get going. You can roll them forward. Good, roll back again. And then allow your shoulder blades to release down your back. Take your hands on your thighs. And before we sit for a moment, let's just go ahead and drop the chin towards the chest. And I can tell in my neck, it feels really tight as well. So this is probably not going to be a really big movement. We're just going to be here for a few breaths. And we're going to visit it again. Let's inhale, lift the chin parallel to the floor. And then exhale, just let that right ear release towards that right shoulder. And notice if the right shoulder starts to pop up towards the ear. Just imagine that somebody is gently pressing down on your shoulders. You're going to feel this nice, intense stretch to the left side of your neck. Back up to center. And then exhale, left ear towards left shoulder. Observing how this stretch feels on the right side of your neck. Is it a little different than that left side felt? Good, inhale up to center. One more time, chin towards chest, shoulders heavy, shoulder blades gently squeeze in towards each other on your spine and then release towards your sit bones. Good, and then inhale, just lift your chin parallel to the floor. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. Couple more times like that, just at your pace. And then if you haven't already, allow your eyelids to close. Start to find that inhale through your nose, and then also that exhale through your nose. You might be finding your ujjayi breath. So constricting the sides of your throat, you're creating that soft rush of air in the back of your throat. It's like ocean waves rolling in and out. It's a little bit of that Darth Vader sound. And then if that feels like too much today, it is a heating breath. You just simply inhale and exhale through your nose without that extra effort. Both are good. Sometimes even in the summer, things are hot enough already. So the ujjayi breath can feel a little intense, like too much. And as always, with all pieces of our yoga practice, the breath, the poses, we're always assessing, we're making adjustments, we're allowing that things look different every time we come to the mat. Observe if your attention starts to wander. So that's going to happen when you become aware of that. Bring your attention back to that sound of your breath. You might have to do that several times in the next hour. Good. So on your next inhale, just gently blink your eyes open. Take an exhale, root down into your sit bones. And then inhale, let's take the arms out wide. And we're going to just find a gentle little twist here. Again, make sure that the shoulder blades are releasing down your back. Deep inhale. Exhale. Let's just move a little bit here. A little twist to the right. It might not be deep starting out. Inhale back to center. And exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twisting to the right. Good. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale. And then exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Stretch out through your fingers. And then go ahead and release your left hand down. It might come to the outside of your right thigh. It might rest on that left thigh. Grab a piece of shirt behind you. And then let's start by moving our gaze towards that right shoulder. It might not go all the way there. And then notice if that left shoulder is creeping up, soften it down. Feel these left ribs wrapping towards the right. Feel your sit bones pressing down into your chair evenly. Try to find some expansion on the inhale. It's a little harder in these twists. And then keep your torso in the twist, but as you exhale, just bring your gaze out towards that left shoulder and then tuck the chin. So again, just getting into the neck there. Keep breathing. Observe if your right shoulder is trying to help out. This can be quite intense. Tuck the chin less if you need to. Good. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, unwind to center. Good work. Let's inhale, take the arms out wide. And then that little kind of twist flow. Exhale to the left first this time. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Good. Inhale back to center. Nice work, gentlemen. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. And then coming into the twist for the hold this time. Exhale, twist to the left. Stretch out. This side might feel different. So again, just release the hands down. Right hand can come to the inside of the right thigh, maybe to the outside of the left thigh. Find a little cobra pose in your upper body. So that lift of the sternum, little back bend in the thoracic, and then bringing your gaze out towards that left shoulder. Might not get all the way there, but you move in that direction. And take a few breaths like this. And then keep your upper body in the twist, but just bring your gaze out towards that right shoulder. Imagine that somebody's pressing down on your shoulder so they don't lift up. And then you tuck your chin any amount. It's a pretty intense little neck stretch. Keep the breath moving. Just get curious about how this side feels different than the other side. One more deep inhale. Exhale, we unwind. Hands come to your thighs. You can adjust your seat again, so just kind of refresh everything. Make sure you've got those knees over ankles. And we're going to move right into some cat-cow here. So as you inhale, you're going to rock forward on your sit bones. Shoulder heads press back. As you exhale, you rock to the backs of your sit bones. Chin releases towards chest. And then you're just moving with your breath at your pace. as we gently open up the spine with this cat-cow stretching. And then the other thing that's happening is that we're finding this vinyasa flow, this kind of moving meditation place. So we find a little of that action anytime we start to connect specific movements with different poses and link them together. This is really simple, but it's effective. You might close your eyes here. And that might allow you to really pay attention to that sound of your breath, to really draw inward. To pay attention to how your spine is feeling. It's going to feel different in the back bend and the forward fold. There's going to be places that feel easier and harder in both of those poses. Beautiful work. Let's do just a few more rounds here. Good. So let's come back to a nice tall spine. So your mountain pose, your Tadasana. And maybe with just a little bit of movement, a little bit of warming up, you're already starting to feel as though you've got a little more space in your body. You're sitting a little taller. Maybe you're not there yet. That's also fine. So again, let's go ahead and just drop our chin towards our chest. And this might be feeling the same. It might be feeling a little more open at this stage. And pretend that somebody is gently pressing down on your shoulders, just giving you a little weight, a little gravity. And then let's keep our chin tucked. As you exhale, start to move towards bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder. And you're going to take several inhales and exhales as you move in that direction. You're going to potentially get to spots where you're feeling something really interesting, perhaps intense. And you hang out there for as many breaths as feels right. Just noticing all of the little subtleties that happen as you move further in that direction. Where does sensation shift? All right, so just hanging out here. Maybe you want to take your right fingertips and release them down. Maybe you want to take your left fingertips and release them down. That's certainly more intense. So you can always try it out and then decide, I'm going to skip this today. Maybe you want to take your right hand on that elbow, place the hand gently on top of your head, just apply a little pressure. Try it, see how it feels. It's working great. If it's not, skip it. And then perhaps from here, you start to, again, just tuck your chin a little bit. Check in with your breath. Have you lost that thread? So always returning to that inhale through the nose, the exhale through the nose, until it just becomes automatic. So lift the chin, take your right hand to your right cheek, and just use the strength of your arm to help upright your head. Hands come back to your thighs. Nice tall seat, finding that beautiful Tadasana mountain pose. And then we take this sequence to the second side. So as you exhale, Chin drops towards chest. So each time, hopefully it's feeling slightly easier. You're finding a little more space. And you can really send those exhale to the places that are a little tighter still. And then keeping your chin tucked, start on your exhale, but take several breaths to move towards bringing your right, or your left ear rather, towards your left shoulder. I'm getting curious about how this side might feel different. You can stay here exactly like this. If you wanted to release your left fingertips down, let's see what that does in your body. It might not do a lot. Perhaps you release your right fingertips down. For me, that certainly does a lot more. You're navigating whether or not it's doing too much. Finally, you might take your left palm gently on top of your head. Just apply some very, very gentle pressure. And just send your exhale to this band of muscles on the right side of your neck, those scalenes that get so tight. They work really hard relative to their tiny size to support the skull, the brain. All right, let's take our left hand to our cheek and just upright your head. Hands come back to your thighs. And then let's just find a little flow here. So just moving as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good. Inhale up to center. And then nice and easy here, perhaps you start to drop your head back a tiny amount. Inhale, center. Exhale, chin towards chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Inhale up to center. Exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Good. Inhale up to center. So going back, if it feels okay, skip it if it doesn't. Inhale. Release your head back any amount. Try not to scrunch your shoulders up. Inhale. And then let's do one more full cycle of that. Maybe you want to release both hands down this time. And again, you can always try it. Exhale to the right. Inhale up to center. Exhale to the left. Good. Inhale up to center. Exhale, perhaps drop your head back. And then inhale. And we've got our arms by our sides potentially. If yours aren't, go ahead and release them down. We're going to move into some sun salutes here. If you do have blocks and you want to set them up by your feet, that can be really nice. It's just a way to bring the floor closer. If you don't have them, no worries. All right, so we're in our nice Tadasana mountain pose, arms by our sides. There's a little external rotation. We're going to inhale, stretch the arms out wide. Maybe you gaze up, maybe you press palms together. As you exhale, a couple of options. You might swan dive in, or you might use your hands to help you roll down, whatever feels best in your body. Feel that chin to chest feeling. As you inhale, this is where you might press your hands into blocks, any height. You also might take them to your shins or to your thighs. Welcome, Amy. So our Ardha Uttanasana. As we exhale, we fold back in. Inhale, you might reverse swan dive out, especially if you're wanting to get into the core a little bit. You can also just roll on up, nice and easy, using your hands to help you. Gaze up. As you exhale, hands come to heart center. You can take them out wide or you can just bring them down the midline, whatever feels good. So let's do a few more of those. Inhaling, Utthita Hastasana into Dasana, extended mountain pose. Exhale into your Uttanasana, so deep forward fold. Inhale into Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha means half, so this is our half forward fold. Exhale back into Uttanasana. And then inhale, make your way back into your extended mountain pose, whatever that might look like. Exhale, hands come to heart center. A lot of ways to get there. Beautiful. Inhaling, reaching up. Just flowing with your breath. If your pace is a little different than mine, you go with your breath. So this is, basically kind of like cat-cow. It's just a little more sophisticated. We're still back bending and forward folding, but there's a little more happening with the shapes here. So again, these sun salutes are this terrific way. Let's do a couple more of these to really warm up the spine, open up the spine. And then they help us to connect movement with breath. So we get into this nice flow state. For some of us, it's actually easier to kind of quiet the mind when we're moving with the breath, as opposed to just holding a pose. It's almost like this is giving the brain a little something to chew on, as opposed to just sitting there. And it likes to think about things then. Not that there's anything wrong with thinking about things. Sometimes we just need a good think. If you're like me, your brain likes to have a good think at about 2 a.m., which is not so helpful. All right, so when you're done with the sun salute that you're on, just pause, palms together at your heart, allow your eyelids to close. And check in here, notice how you're feeling. So there's a little heat inside the body perhaps. It might feel like you're sitting a little taller. You might feel just energetically a little lighter. Just observing where you're at. And take a deep inhale. As you exhale, blink the eyes open. You can just release the hands down. Let's find a hip stretch here, and we're going to do a little twist with this. So, a couple of options. You can do your seated pigeon pose, so crossing that right ankle above the left knee. Essentially what we're doing is getting this external rotation in the right leg. So another way of achieving that is to just simply open up that leg. So it's kind of like we're coming into a warrior 2 position. And you can play with both, see what feels better. They're going to be a little bit different in terms of where you're getting a stretch. In addition to getting the outer hip stretch in this variation that I'm in now, I feel a lot more stretch too on the inseam of the leg, which can be really nice. So if that's something that you're seeking today, be here. If you're here, you might not need to do anything. It might be happening. If it feels like, I got a little more, maybe use the strength of your arm to press that thigh back. And then the same thing applies here in your seated pigeon. Just sitting like this for most of us is pretty intense, but if your hips tend to be a little more open, maybe you gently press down. And of course, if you're using your hand to help intensify things, you can always take little breaks if it starts to feel like too much. But let's just be here for several breaths. All right, so let's just find a little gentle twisting again. So let's inhale, reach the arms out. Exhale, little twists to the right. Let's inhale, come center. Exhale, little twists to the left. Good, inhale up, back to center. Good, exhale, little twists to the right. Inhale. Exhale, twist to the left. Good, inhale. And then we're going to exhale, twist to the right. So very similar to what we did earlier, just a different configuration with our legs. As you exhale, release hands down. And it's going to look a little different for all of us. If you're in this warrior two leg, you're probably just going to take your left hand to the inside of your left thigh. That's perfect. If you are in this seated pigeon pose, hand could be anywhere on ankle, shin. If twisting feels, pretty easy in your spine, and you feel like you've warmed things up enough, you can take that left hand to the outside of that right thigh. And then you're just using a little leverage. So you're pressing that hand. It's helping to release those shoulder heads back. And then again, move towards bringing your gaze out over your right shoulder. Any amount. And then let's tuck the chin here. And just notice if that shifts anything in your body. Lift your chin, keep the upper body in the twist, but again, start to bring your gaze out over that left shoulder. And then perhaps tuck the chin. And I don't know about you, but for me, this twisting the head to this side, I definitely feel a little more intense stretch. So you're, modifying, you're doing less if you need to. Good, nice deep inhale. Full complete exhale. Inhale, just lift your chin. And then exhale, come to center. Let's find a forward fold here. It might not be super deep. This is another place where you could use your blocks, especially if your hips are a little more open. So let's inhale, take the arms up. And then as you exhale, hinge forward. So hands might come to your shins or to your thighs. If you feel safe and stable and the hips give you the go-ahead, you might bring your hands down onto those blocks. And you can let your head release here and lengthen. So it's a little bit of that chin towards chest feeling. There's almost a little rounding in the thoracic, the upper spine. Couple more breaths. Observe if you're gripping anywhere that you don't need to. Might be that outer left hip. As you inhale, let's find a little Ardha Uttanasana feeling. So extending your chest forward, and then you can take hands to thighs. Next inhale. Roll on up, beautiful. And then just make your way back to center. So your Tadasana pose. Just take a couple breaths here. Really feel both of those sit bones rooting down into your chair. Feel your shoulders stacking over those sit bones. All of this length through the sides of your waist. Breath smooth and steady. We come into that hip opening on the second side, which it may look exactly like the other side. it might look different. So options, crossing that left ankle above your right knee. If there is any sensation in your knee, I recommend flexing this foot. That's going to engage these muscles here. It's going to offer a little protection. You might be pressing that left hand down, and that will intensify things a little bit. You might not need to do that. And also side to side, things can feel really different. So you also might be just opening up this left thigh. So finding more of a warrior two leg. If you're doing this variation, do make sure that your knee is over your ankle. So we don't want this. We want to have a nice stable base there. And then maybe you're pressing that hip back slightly. Do a little check-in with your shoulders. Make sure they're not creeping up towards your ears. These look good. And then we just take several breaths here. If at any point you need to like back out for a breath or two, always honor that. Few more rounds of breath. All right, so let's keep this configuration with our lower body. As you inhale, stretch the arms out wide. Maybe really firm the muscle towards bone so arms are active. Exhale, little twist to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale, we twist to the right. Inhale back. One more complete cycle like that. Exhale. Inhaling to center. And exhale to the right. Good inhale. As we exhale to the left, we stay here and we find the full twist. So again, just positioning your hands where feels best in your body. Wherever you're at, you're thinking a little cobra pose in your upper body. So openness across your heart, lift of your sternum, shoulder blades releasing down and squeezing in towards each other slightly. And then moving towards bringing your gaze out over that left shoulder. And then go ahead and tuck your chin. See what happens for you. Good. Lift your chin. Keep your body twisting to the left, but as you exhale, just bring your gaze out towards that right shoulder any amount. And then again, twist the chin here, or twist the chin, lower the chin. Observing where you're getting sensation. And just checking in with that back shoulder, that left shoulder. Is it creeping up towards your ear? Can you soften it down? All right, as you inhale, chin lifts. Exhale, we unwind and we're going to come into that forward fold. And it doesn't have to be deep. It just might be hinging forward the tiniest amount. So you're listening to your body, seeing what feels good. You can stretch arms up. And then as you exhale, find the place that feels good for you. And eventually just moving towards letting your chin release towards your chest. So there's a little rounding in that upper back, the thoracic. Good. And then as you inhale, find that like half forward fold feeling so you can come up to fingertips. And then next inhale, use your hands to help you press up. Beautiful work. Make your way back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And let's move towards some down dogs. And then we're going to also do some twisting with, you can use a chair. You could use like a desk that's in front of you, tabletop. You could even use the wall. So lots of options. Get set up here. If you're using a chair, you just want to make sure that it's in a place that's safe and stable so it's not going to slide away from you. And in regards to using a chair, you could have the seat towards you, or you could have the top of the chair facing towards you, which can be nice to just press your hand here. It gives you a little more space, but lots of options. And actually scoot back a little. And you can just kind of reach forward. So you want to make sure that your arms can come to straight here. So you might have to play with things just a little bit. And when you kind of have that set up, you can go ahead and come to a nice tall seat. Peek down at your feet. Again, just make sure that you've got your knees over your ankles. And then you're just keeping your gaze soft and gentle. You're looking slightly forward. Inhale, take the arms out and up. So palms facing in towards each other, but then go ahead and bring the thumbs to face towards each other. It's almost like they're going to touch. Good. Keep that. Really start to firm muscle to bone in your arms. So we're working them already. We're already finding that downward facing dog feeling. And then you're going to hinge forward. You're keeping your ears in line with your biceps. And those hands are going to land on something in front of you. And if you've got a desk, you could spread your fingers, press down evenly into all 10 knuckles. That gives you a little resistance. You can start to feel your inner arm, your bicep, wrap towards your outer arm, your triceps. So you're widening across the backs of your shoulders. So really, really active, strong pose. Got a little bit of an inversion happening here. Definitely a forward fold. But we're also getting lots of extension through the sides of the waist, through the spine. It's a really beautiful pose to open up a lot of things. And you're just gazing slightly ahead of your toes. You're keeping the back of your neck nice and long. So you're not looking up, but you're also not dropping your chin towards your chest. There's a sense of elongation in the cervical spine. Good. So bring one hand to thigh, then the other. You can find that elbow squeezing in sensation a little bit and then press into your thighs to come up. Nice work. Take a couple of breaths here. And then let's do another downward facing dog, but we're going to do a little twist with it. So again, you can release your arms by your sides. Inhale, take up space, reach up. And then spin your palms to face forward so thumbs are facing in towards each other. As you exhale, hinge forward. And then let's lift our gaze just a little bit. So you're kind of gazing in between your thumbs. I want you to bring your right hand slightly towards the center, so it's almost like it's in line with your nose. You're going to bring your left hand towards your left hip. You're going to squeeze that elbow in. Inhale, find length. And then exhale, you're going to wrap the right ribs towards the left. Yeah, really nice. Keep firming down into that right palm so that right arm is so active. And if you'd like, maybe extend that left arm. Good, maybe you're gazing slightly up. And then let's tuck the chin here. So not something we would usually do, but it does feel kind of good. Then just release your gaze down. Place that left hand back on your chair. Bring your arms back to about shoulders distance apart. Let's just take a few breaths here. Classic downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And just gazing an inch or two in front of your toes. And then on your next inhale, lift your head a little bit. You're gonna walk that left hand kind of center. You're gonna bring your right hand to your right hip. Elbow squeezes in. And then exhale, start to wrap those left ribs to the right. They're pretty intense. You might just stay here like this. You might simply lengthen through that right elbow. What's going on with your breath? And then perhaps tuck your chin here. It might be like really subtle. This side's definitely tighter for me. Good, and then go ahead and extend that right hand forward. So arms again to about shoulders distance apart. Press down into your hands, into all 10 knuckles. See if you can lengthen a little more as you root down into your sit bones as well. So the sides of your waist getting really long. And then lead with the other hand first. So the one that feels awkward if you can't remember. Beautiful. And then we're gonna roll on up. Just take a couple of breaths. So gaze soft and gentle in front of you. Good, so we've been doing lots of twisting. Let's go ahead and use our chair here for our twisted triangle pose. So you might have to bring it in a little closer. You can kind of like gauge that. So we are going to, there's a few different variations here. We've done this before. So you might just stay like this, both knees bent. If you would like, you might extend your right leg to straight. And you're keeping that leg kind of active. You're pressing into the center of the heel. So you might, if you have a chair, something sort of like at hips distance, you might place the heel of that foot up on the chair. And as things are getting a little higher, I'm feeling a deeper stretch in my hamstring area. So final little variation here. So this is like the more classic configuration of the pose. You might take your left leg straight. And then just bring your hands to your hips. Notice how both hip bones are facing forward. So we want to hold on to that. Let's keep our right hand on our right hip, elbow squeezing in. Inhale, lift your left arm up. Other left arms. As we exhale, we hinge forward. So it's like you're reaching out to shake somebody's hands. As I do this, I'm feeling a lot of sensation in that right hip hamstring. So you might just stay here like this. If you've got your chair in front of you, you could rest your forearm, and then you're drawing that right shoulder head back. You might be able to take that left arm to the outside of that right leg. So you're finding a little leverage in the twist. You might play with extending your right arm up. So fuller expression of the pose. But of course, all of these places that we're stopping along the way, they're accomplishing the same thing. You might be looking up at that right thumb. You're trying to keep the back of your neck nice and long. You're trying to press your shoulder blades back behind you. One more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, untwist, and then let's find a little forward fold here. And I've got my forearms resting on the chair. You might be able to take your hands on the chair. I'm going to come back to forearms on the chair because my right hamstring's feeling tight today. Good. As you inhale, nice and slow, roll on up. And then, so we just move towards our second side. So just kind of reverse all of those steps wherever you were. So find your nice mountain pose. As we come into the second side, again, know that it doesn't need to look exactly like the other side. So you can modify it a little bit if you want to. So you could be here. Maybe you extend your left leg to straight. Maybe you place that left foot on your chair or your desk. Perhaps you bring that right leg to straight. And then again, just hands on hips, elbow squeeze in. Notice how your hip bones are both facing forward. We want to hold on to that even as we come into the twist. We're going to keep this left hand on the left hip. And you can even kind of direct that hip forward. Inhale, right arm reaches. And then as you exhale, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and then start to spin your right ribs towards the left. This left shoulder head is reaching back a little bit. You might just rest your forearm on your chair. You might take that right hand to the outside of that left leg so you get a little leverage so you can pop those shoulders open a little more. And then you might extend that arm up. So your shoulder blades stack on top of each other, just giving everything a nice little ring out. These look fantastic. Notice how it's hard to get a good full deep inhale here in this deep twist. Do your best. You might be looking up at that left thumb. Good deep inhale. And then exhale, start to unwind. And again, we take a few breaths in our forward fold. Noticing how this side feels different in your body. Breath smooth and steady. And then you're going to inhale, slowly roll on up. And make your way out here. So you're going to come back to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Really bring your attention, your focus back to your breath here. And then let's move into just like a couple of minutes of our alternate nostril breathing. So you can keep your eyes closed, but if you just want to do some little finger pops. And then you can bring your fingers down towards your wrist. It's kind of like you're picking up sand, but not in Corpus Christi because that sand doesn't feel good. Hopefully nobody from Corpus Christi will watch this video on YouTube and they'll be like, what is she talking about? It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous on this beach. All right, so let's take our left hand down. We're going to use our right hand. So as you know, you can bend the second and third finger. You're kind of making one finger with the pinky and the ring finger. Comes to the bony part. You could also simply be using thumb and index. You could use any two fingers you want. I don't really care. It's all accomplishing the same thing. So find where you want to be. Come down to that soft part, just below the bone. And so when we're pressing, you don't have to press very hard at all. What tends to happen is this right arm, this elbow likes to lift. So try to keep your shoulders nice and relaxed. Eyelids closed. Nice deep inhale through both nostrils. Full complete exhale through both nostrils. Okay, let's block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Good, block left, exhale right. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils. Good, block right, inhale left. Good, block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Block left, exhale right. Block right, inhale left. Good, block left, exhale right. Good, release that right hand down. Inhale through both nostrils. And then exhale through both nostrils. And then not using our hands, we're going to try to do this. And it's not going to happen exactly. But just imagining that you're blocking that right nostril. Can you inhale through the left? Exhale through the right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale left. Exhale right. Good, inhale left. Exhale right. And then inhale through both nostrils. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out. Ha. And then we're going to move towards some type of shavasana. So you might just stay exactly where you are. This is a state of mind more than anything. You might do a little forward fold with that chair, so a little child's pose. You might come into classic shavasana on the floor. And I want you to let go of this idea that you need to control your breath. I want you to feel this sense of weight and gravity and release in your bones, your muscles. Find this sense of openness and surrender. So just taking rest, whatever that looks like. Giving our brain, our body an opportunity to assimilate all of this work that we've done. And kind of creating this bookend, the conclusion of our class before we move into the rest of the day ahead. Shavasana. Asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take a deeper inhale. And open your mouth to sigh the breath out. Ha. And then just bring some gentle movement back to your body. So you can wiggle fingers, toes, circle ankles, wrists, stretch out. So just any movement that feels good here. And then just eventually landing with your palms in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude. Send your body love and gratitude. We send each other love and gratitude. Just acknowledging that it's a gift to be able to move together, to work together. It's not always easy, but it does make a difference. And finally, just promise yourself you're going to carry this good feeling with you into the rest of the day ahead. Finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, everybody. Thank you.